Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and today we are back with another mukbang! Woo! Okay, today we've got a feast. We have 3 different types of spicy Korean rice cakes, otherwise known as tteokbokki. So here in the front, covered in mozzarella cheese, we have the regular tteokbokki. Then on the left, we've got mala tteokbokki, which is like a numbing, spicy mala, And then we have the rosé tteokbokki. And then here we've got some Korean fried chicken. So this right here is a spicy nuclear, almost like sweet sauce that's just drenched over these wings. And then this is like a cheese powder that's dusted and they're called like cheeseling wings. Oh yeah. And I just want to say, is it just me or does it feel like every single family member who comes to my house is freaking hungry? One of the first questions that I ask when someone walks in through the door is, did you eat? They always got this little sly smile on their face, and I already know the answer is no, and it's suspicious. It's starting to become a pattern of behavior that is quite alarming. Sometimes I feel like they even come over just to eat, and then they leave. And I'm always like, why are you here? Is it for me, or is it for the food? Maybe I am the world's best dinner companion, but I think it's the food. And so what we do, because we're getting smart with it, we get HelloFresh and we throw those babies into the fridge. I always have HelloFresh stocked, and HelloFresh has snack options, side options, and just anything that I can add to my HelloFresh order, it's in there. And it is the only reason that I don't even mind when my family comes over to eat, because it's not only simple for me and my husband to feed ourselves, but it's also a simple way to feed the whole family. Every week, I just go over to HelloFresh and pick out my favorite recipes from a list of over 40 chef-curated recipes. And then afterwards, I hop onto the HelloFresh market. I shop through their curated selection of over like 100 add-on options. See, this is the thing about me. I'm a snack girl. That's what I do through and through. I like a good snack. But the meal options themselves at HelloFresh are somehow more delicious to me than snacks, which is wild. And I also like that the recipes keep my family on their toes, like all the taste buds. They have categories from family friendly to fit and wholesome. So there's always something very exciting for people to try. Even my mom loves HelloFresh meals and flavors.
Oma, you like it?
I do. I
What's
like
this dog?
And I was a little hesitant at first because she's got a strong Korean palate, but she loves it.
Oh yeah.
These days, she's been helping me cook HelloFresh meals, and it's kind of nice to have like a little mother and daughter bonding moment where we cook a nice meal together and then she yells at me for not doing it correctly. So for any parents out there, HelloFresh is the perfect option now that fall semester is coming around again and you've got enough back to school planning already. This is gonna make your life easier. So let HelloFresh worry about the grocery shopping and the meal prep. Just choose your dishes that you want and they're delivered. You sit back, relax, all the ingredients pre-measured, fresh ingredients shipped to your door, and you just cook it up following their recipe cards. It takes like 30 minutes, not even.
This was 15 minutes.
They've got you covered. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code 50BIS at checkout for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com, code 50BIS at checkout for 50% off and free shipping. The link is also in the description, and thank you HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into it. I'm so excited. I've got my little piggy bowl.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna go in. Oh, the cheese is melty, so I have a heat warmer under these plates right now. I'm testing it out for the first time, and if it's not hot, I'm gonna punch someone. I like rosé tteokbokki the most these days. It's like what I've been gravitating to.
You know what this makes me miss? You know.
I know.
Oh yeah, you know. The Korean ones. In Korea. Rosé tteokbokki.
Yup.
Come on, you're
Yup,
just
yup.
talking about how much you miss Korea.
Bro, the jajang one was so good too. And the buckets that they come in just make everything taste so much better. Oh my god. Wait, is the mala good? Let's try the mala.
Honestly, this is pretty good.
Oh my god. The mala one is
Oh
so
my god, these
spicy.
are so hot right now. It's working.
I'm gonna get
Okay.
one from the middle.
I'm gonna go for like a chicken with cheese.
It's so crispy. Wow. Have you tried this? This is so good.
Can I get one?
Here, let me find you a. Here's a drum.
Should I dip it? Right?
Yeah. Wow, they're all drums.
There's no wing?
I got a wing. One more wing.
No, you
Oh,
have
it's
it.
all-
I would imagine you're a drum girl.
I usually these days, the past like year or two, honey, keep up.
You're changing.
I'm
Who are
into
you?
a wing woman. It's just so satisfying. And like, I don't know. Something about it is so good. What would you do? Imagine if Mr. Beast just quit YouTube out of nowhere. Like, never posted about it, never slowly transitioned into a different career path, never went on a podcast and was like, hey guys, I'm retiring. Nothing. Just one day, all of a sudden it was, I survived 50 hours in an active volcano and last one to leave wins $15 million. And then nothing. Radio silence after that video. Like, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would be genuinely worried, okay? But imagine he was active on other platforms, but just never talked about YouTube again. Like, never posted about why he left, never responded to comments about like, hey, when are you posting again? Like, what's going on? Why aren't you here? What would you think? Like, people would collectively lose their freaking marbles, myself included. I would be going down some random rabbit hole of just conspiracies on Reddit.
But you don't watch him. No.
But I'd be fascinated by the mysteria, you know? I like his videos. It just,
You've never seen it.
I have seen it. I've watched his iconic ones, of course. I like him as a person. I don't even know him. But he seems like a real good person. But I don't know why I don't end up
It's just never recommended to you.
No, it's recommended.
Oh, it is recommended
All the time.
It's okay. He never clicks on your video.
I don't think he's missing out on my one view. I'm
very excited for today's story, by the way.
He's been asking for this one. Do you know what's going on or no?
Very little.
The cheese is so good.
Stephanie was eating some very spicy chili oil.
Oh my god.
2 days ago, and she's been having stomach ache for days.
And I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't know what's been happening, but I don't really get stomach aches from eating spicy. Like maybe for that night and the next morning, but for the past 2 days, I've been having debilitating stomach cramps. I'm not pregnant.
She just kind of got better today. Here we are. Here we are.
Well, that's what happened to the Mr. Beast of China. And I say Mr. Beast because her numbers were out of this world. I mean, she was one of the top creators in the entire nation, but she makes drastically different content for Mr. Beast. So don't be imagining just like Chinese Mr. Beast, okay? We are talking about the strange online vanishing of Liziqi and the dark reasons behind why she randomly quit making videos. Like, have you guys heard of Liziqi?
I think like most people probably ran across her video somewhere.
Yes, like even if you don't know her or really recall her name, the minute that I show you a thumbnail or maybe even a clip of her video, you'll be like, oh my god, yes, that's her. Or if you recognize that style of video, she was the one that created this whole aesthetic and like this type of content. Her videos get tens of millions of views, sometimes in the hundreds of millions of views per video.
Yeah.
On YouTube alone, she has 17 million followers. Think about it. A Chinese YouTuber where YouTube is banned in China and she's got a YouTube account with 17 million followers. Like, that just goes to show how freaking successful and powerful and much influence she had. That's not even her most subscribed platform. On Douyin, Chinese TikTok, she has 30 million followers. Yes, and she was one of my faves. Yeah, she was. She really was one of my faves. Again, talking about people who don't even know that I exist, but she was one of my faves. Her videos were like a piece of art, to put it simply. I mean, if you guys don't know, to give you a brief rundown, she depicts almost this cottagecore, or they call it in China like the ancient style. She has a very romanticized village lifestyle in a rural part of China. So she focuses a lot on cooking videos. But it's not even cooking videos where she's like, let me make these crazy trendy street foods right now. She's making iconic Chinese dishes like lo shifan.
Lo shifan.
Okay, these are packaged noodles that you can buy. And it's almost like this sweet, sour, they call them stinky noodles because the smell of the fermented bamboos is really strong and pungent, but it's so delicious. Like, it's spicy, it's hot, it's a little sour, it's tangy, it's perfect. I mean, China has innovated to the point where you can get those noodles in like a prepared package and it's phenomenal. Most people will just get the little ramen, the instant ramen version of it. She will make it from scratch. And you're thinking, okay, from scratch, that's rough, right? So she's got to go to the store, buy the little fermented bamboos in a can, buy the other little veggies and cut them up for her broth and then make the broth from scratch. No. She goes into a bamboo forest, cuts down bamboo, ferments the bamboo for multiple days, goes into the forest and picks out all the other veggies she needs, ferments those. She cooks everything directly over a fire. So not a gas stove, a fire.
I think the most impressive one, I mean, every video is so out of this world to me.
Out of this world.
You would just click on a video and then she's like planting the seed.
Yes.
To a vegetable.
Yes.
And then she's like putting water on there and it's summertime. Next scene, it's summer. And then she's like watering them, trimming the thing.
Yeah.
And then next scene, it's fall.
Yeah.
And then she's like picking out the fruit. And then it's like 10 years later, she finally grew the vegetable from a seed. And then she's like processed them, dries them, like air dries them. And then I'm like, did she really spend 2 years to make one video?
Yes.
It's insane.
Yes.
The production quality, and then I'm looking at Stephanie. I'm like, babe, what's going on here?
And I'm over here like, y'all ever had cheese covered fried chicken?
Innovation.
Like, there's even a video where, so she washes a lot of things outside, and it's not even a f***ing hose. It's like one of those fancy,
River?
yeah, like rivers and stuff, right? But she washes things in bamboo baskets. There was a video where she's fucking weaving the bamboo to make the bamboo basket. I'm like, bro, if I were you, I would have Taobaoed a strainer, okay? I would have just Alibaba'd myself a strainer, okay?
And the thing is,
Yes.
like, every single one of her video, she's cooking or doing something completely different. And it's not only just doing something different, everything is actually a complete new skill set that she's acquired. Even for Chinese people, right? A lot of the things that she does is like Chinese traditions. And it's from different regions. And a lot of things are actually getting lost nowadays. So nobody still does things like this. Everything's by machine, no longer handmade. But she is actually going back to find someone who still knows that skill and learns it from the beginning.
And then shows the process online.
Yes. So for us, like when we watch it, it's like, oh my God, these are the things I read in the book. Or these are things that my grandpa tells me about. That's how they used to, like anything, how to make a blanket. She will literally grow everything and make the blanket from scratch. It was like insane.
Do you want me to make you a blanket from scratch or something? I'm just saying she'd be putting YouTubers to shame or whatever. She does the craziest shit. She'll even do embroidery, but not just regular embroidery of the modern day, but traditional Shen Dynasty embroidery or something like that.
Yeah.
Insane. And she's all obsessed with that very slow living, quiet aesthetic. She's not really screaming in her videos.
I don't think she talks.
It's
Barely,
background
right?
music. So she'll have small conversations with her grandma while she's cooking or something, but it's almost muted down, where it's kind of on par with the music and it sounds like she's in the other room asking grandma something, you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like she's right next to you. It's like the opposite of me. She doesn't talk, she lets you focus on the environment and focus on the noises and every action that she makes, and it freaking works. She's got over 3 billion views on YouTube. And collectively across all her videos views range from 10 to 130 million per video. And at one point, she released a whole product line under her name, which in 2020, that very product line did over 200 million USD in sales in 2020.
Jeez.
$200 million in sales. She's at the height of her game. She's not just an influencer or a content creator. She's a whole business. She is a brand. She's a full-blown celebrity, and her videos are the backbone of all of this. So in July 14th, 2021, when she stops posting videos out of nowhere, it's strange. It's so strange. And people are like, how? What happened, right? She didn't even post that she's taking a break or anything. Liziqi is unfortunately not a stranger to drama. I mean, just based on how successful she was and how many eyeballs were on her, not just in China, but globally. She had a lot of people coming for her. She also found herself at the center of a lot of different controversies, if you will. She wasn't in the middle of a scandal when she stopped posting, so that was weird. But her scandals, they ranged from, oh, this girl's an industry plant, to she's propaganda from the government,
Oh my God.
to even a scandal in Korea. She made a lot of enemies in Korea at one point. Korean netizens were coming after this girl. So there was a lot that happened, and she might have taken little breaks here and there throughout her career. But again, this was just unprecedented. This is not something that she had ever done before. So where did she go? Well, Liziqi could no longer be Liziqi. That's not even metaphorically. That's not me trying to be poetic. This is the story of how Liziqi was scammed out of tens of millions of dollars, and she didn't even own the trademark to her own name. She got screwed over. She couldn't even post on her own YouTube account because she no longer, technically at the time, owned it anymore.
What?
She couldn't even use her name. Liziqi, that's her name, and she didn't even own the trademark to it.
That's why she stopped posting.
Because her manager royally screwed her over. He was the scumbag of the planet.
That's insane.
Yeah. So before we get into that and her manager and all of that, we got to talk about her childhood and then the rest of her scandals. So her childhood is actually a pretty impressive story. She was born into the countryside of the Sichuan province, and her parents divorced when she was really young. In the split, she ends up going with her dad. So she's living with her dad. They move out of the countryside, and it's straight out of Cinderella. Her dad remarries this evil witch who just abuses her nonstop. I don't know if her dad knew about it and did nothing. I don't know if the stepmom gaslit him into believe that his daughter was the problem. I don't know. But her father ends up passing away when she's only 6 years old. So now she's under the primary legal care of her stepmom, who hates her freaking guts, who is upset that she's been left to take responsibility for this kid that she doesn't even like. And every day, Liziqi was being abused. Literally every day. She would have her hair pulled. Sometimes her head would be shoved into a sink with water filled to the brim. Her stepmom almost beat her to death. And the only reason that she's even alive is because her grandparents stepped in and was like, okay, we're going to raise her. We're going to raise her. We're going to take her. Even if she's not growing up in the city, even if she has to grow up in the countryside, give her to us. So they take her back to the little village, and she starts living that cottagecore lifestyle. I'm talking everything they eat is pretty much planted in their backyard.
It's not backyard. Backyard. It's a farm. It's farm.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. You know what I mean. I forgot when, but I fell down the Liziqi rabbit hole where I binge watched every one of her videos in the background for a month straight. I just remember he's like, what are you doing? Why are you watching that? Every day I'd be playing Liziqi, okay? It's just so calming, you know? Anyway, she moves back to the village. She starts living this cottagecore lifestyle. Except, when she was a kid, it wasn't really cottagecore. It's just trying to survive. I mean, she had already been forced to be an adult her whole childhood, and now moving back with her grandparents. She doesn't want to be a burden. She wants to be as helpful as possible. So her grandpa was a chef. He taught her how to cook, and it started off with little tasks, here, cut these vegetables, and then it was here, make this side dish on your own, and then eventually it was, here, make a bamboo basket with your own 2 hands, okay? They would cook on a fire stove, and she grew up with her dad not being able to eat anything yummy. So being with her grandparents and just enjoying the taste of food, she just had a strong appreciation for just the process of food, the taste of food, what food means, the feelings that it brings, and feelings of safety and comfort. Liziqi said that without her grandparents, she most likely would be dead at this point. And then hits the fan again. So right before Liziqi is about to enter middle school, her grandfather dies. And her grandmother falls ill. She's all alone, has to take responsibility, and she has to pay the bills and take care of her grandma, right? So at first they try to make it work, but they end up burning through their savings. And since grandma was too old to work, Liziqi drops out of school at 14. And this is so important. She moves from the village back into the city looking for work. For 8 years, she's just looking for work wherever anyone will take her. She slept on park benches some nights, got odd jobs here and there. Nobody really wanted to hire her because, think about it. She's got no money, no skills, no education. Every company saw her as a liability more than anything. And she was just so young. She didn't really have a lot of experience. It was really hard. So for 2 months, she ate steamed buns every meal of every day to save money. She ate nothing else of nutritional value because she just wanted to send everything back to grandma. And then she's 22 and grandma is ill again. And she's thinking, okay, I'm 22 now. I gotta make it work. Her thought process is, I'm going back to the village again. I have no access to jobs, but I need to take care of my grandma. I need to stay there and spend as much time with my aging grandma as I possibly can. So she goes back to the village and she's like, what do I do? My family owns this farm. And when you hear farm, it sounds lucrative, but it wasn't. It's just a big plot of land. They have to hire laborers. They're not really making ends meet. It's just really rough. So Liziqi thought, okay, if I can't sell my products to local markets, maybe I can sell them on Taobao, which is like Etsy. You can open up your own storefront and you can sell your own products. So she starts with like honey, bird's nest, food-related products. 0 sales. 0. She's so stressed. She has to come up with all these little marketing strategies and the competition is so cutthroat. So she starts making like short form content, like basically visual videos for her products. And all of the aesthetics, because she's in this like rural village instead of being a city girl trying to sell these products, they had the aesthetic, but her videos didn't do that well. Just like it's product video, it feels very salesy, so no one really liked it. And then eventually she tried short form cooking videos using the products she was selling, and people ate it up.
Oh, she was like a TikTok star.
Yes. On Douyin, they ate it up. They ate it up to the point where she was getting more money from video views. Like she went viral in like mid 2017. She was getting more video views and making more money in that way than actually selling product. So she's like, I can't do both right now because it's just me. So she closes down her Taobao store and she just starts focusing on making these videos. I will say she seems like a crazy perfectionist. She doesn't post that frequently, but when she does, it's like 3,000 different angles, different outfits, and her just cooking up the most elaborate dishes known to mankind.
Especially like you film videos, so it's like you know how hard it is.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So let me explain to everyone. Every time Stephanie's like looking at videos, she's like,
Oh man, I wish I had more angles. I wish I do more angles.
and then when it comes around to filming, she's like, okay, let me move the camera here. And then
okay,
so it takes like 5 minutes to 10 minutes to move the angle.
Okay, let me explain. Right, those videos where you see someone making coffee from 5 different angles, right? You see them walk to get the cup, and then they take the cup out, and then you see them put the cup on the coffee machine. That takes like an hour or 2. And here's the thing. I'm a very when I feel
In
it,
the
I
moment.
need to,
Yes.
if I feel something, I need to do it immediately. So if I feel like vlogging, I need to do it right now. And if I don't do it right now, the mood is gone, okay? So when I have to set up for an hour for one shot, I'm like,
Bro,
I'm over it. The mood is over.
yeah. So it's like, and then now whenever I look at like Casey Neistat's videos,
Oh my God.
jeez, he's like going like the camera is going shoo 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 like every corner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did he really just sit by the side of the highway, and then it's like controlling a drone or like freaking open the door, close the door, open the trunk, close the trunk, like did all of that for 2 seconds? 2 seconds of final footage? It's insane.
Yeah.
And then you look at Liziqi, it's like,
On crack.
oh my f***ing God, how did she do it?
Because you think setting up a camera is just a tripod, right? And like, again, like this job is very easy compared to like healthcare workers, like all these other jobs. But there's only like a difference in like, oh, I guess I didn't imagine it to be like that annoying to set up. But it's like one angle to get the lighting and the focus correct.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I am a in the moment type of girl, okay? So I'm like, oh my God, I need to talk about this. And then if I'm setting up my camera and it takes me 2 seconds too long, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna talk about it. I don't care. Yeah. So I'm working on it. I'm sorry, guys, okay? Her amazing content, her perfectionism actually leads to her very first scandal.
Really?
Some people said, it's really good. A little too good. They're like, there's no way she does all of this herself. It doesn't make sense. She's not some cute little girl from the cottagecore village. She is being produced. She's an industry plant. This is cinematic experiences. They're like complimenting her and dissing her at the same time. They're like, this is better than a movie. That bitch. Okay? The preparation of her videos seemed like it would take weeks, if not months, on a single video. I'm sure she's got a massive team. A team of producers, filmmakers, camera crew, audio crew, preparation crew, assistants. She is an industry plant. And she's trying to make it seem like she's this cute little girl from the village just vlogging her day. It's inauthentic and it's disgusting. That's what people said, okay?
God damn.
So people start jumping on this scandal that Liziqi is an industry plant, and they would comment things like, it's obvious the professional team created this. She's just in charge of revealing her face, like a paid actress. I think she even has a body double. So they're saying so she would have an angle that shows her chopping something, and then the angle would switch to her hands chopping, and then maybe like half her body chopping. And they're like, she's only there when it's her face, and then they throw in a body double, and she's basically an actress, literally like in a movie. How dare she claim that she films everything alone? They called her shameless. They called her disgusting. Can I just say something? Okay, no, before I go into my rant, okay, there was another person that commented. This is so goofy. I know there's a team behind her. She said once that she films everything on a tripod, but I did some research on tripods and it's impossible. It blows my mind. How much research can you do on a tripod? Like, what are you researching about a tripod that makes you believe after you're Googling of what a tripod is and what a tripod does? How can you come to the conclusion so confidently, might I add, that it's impossible for her to film this on a tripod?
Okay, if it's not tripod, then what is it?
Like, I guess they're saying like those production crews, they have like the runways where the camera is moving. It's like the massive cameras and like the carts of the camera. Another person commented, a video this good, again, do they hate her? Do they love her? A video this good has to come from a professional team. How could she film this all on her own? It's not shameful to have a team, but she says she films it herself, and that's disgusting. Okay, that's the thing. When I hear the word disgusting, I'm thinking, you ran over my dog. You R-worded someone. You are disgusting. I don't know if I would really consider this like that disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, did she really run your mom over in reverse and then drive for another 20 miles? I don't think so. So some of these commenters were acting like she just personally destroyed their own lives. And another thing that people were speculating was that she couldn't actually be doing all the things that she was doing. So some videos showed her making makeup from flowers, or using wood in the forest to carve a lamp, or making like ornate traditional dishes, like ancient dishes that have thousands of years of history. Yeah. And it would take like 5 days to make, and very specific type of techniques on how to create either fermented products or to even create the noodles and to pull them a very specific way. It's not just like, oh, I saw a recipe online. And so people are like, there's no way that she would have gotten the technique to do all of this. It doesn't make sense. So people accused her of just literally being an actress and then having someone who knew how to do it come in and film the hand portions or finish it up and make the end product good. That was the accusation. Because everyone agreed there's no way one person can be good at that many things. Yeah. People said,
like,
God.
She genuinely was so impressive. Like,
I mean, yeah, she's impressive, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like those questions, it's almost like obviously their words are terribly used, but she is like, the way you see like every skill, it's like, what the how can she know how to do everything? Mm-hmm. You know? But and it makes sense once she revealed like the amount of the depth she goes to study every skill is insane. So people were mad to the point where Liziqi had to come out with a statement in 2017. She posted that she was going to be taking a break amidst all of the horrible accusations. What? She just wanted a breather, you know? She wrote about how she had a really rough upbringing and she never cried. Even when her stepmom would beat her, she never cried. And now she's sitting in front of her phone crying. You know, some people called it superficial. Like, oh, you didn't cry when you were being abused, but you're crying now because you're about to lose your fame and money. But I think it's more the principle of feeling like you're being accused of something that you didn't do. Everyone's accused. They're talking about you doing this thing as if they were there. Yeah. As if they saw it. Like the way that people were commenting, like, I know for a fact. And it's like, but how do you know for a fact? I've never even met you. I've never even spoken to you. Yeah. How do you know for a fact about me? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, some of these comments are vile.
Oh, let me tell you, sometimes it's like the wording. It's like, you can have guesses, you can make speculations, you can comment on people's lives. But when you're like, I know for a fact, and it's like, you don't even know this person. You've never even had a conversation with this person. This person probably doesn't even know you exist, okay? Liziqi does not know you exist. But you're like confident? That's weird. I don't know, okay? Anyway, so people are accusing her of being an industry plant, and she said, it got to the point where people were questioning my morals, saying that I lied about not having a team, and they said that I was this shallow girl that just wanted money, and how even my grandmother was in on it, and we're all scammers, we're all people with low values and low morals. And she said, and all these quote professionals in the comments are trying to analyze the type of equipment that I use, and they give their super quote professional opinions, but they know nothing. And she said, it's fine, whatever, but now you're basically doing some mental gymnastics of, hey, even though I have no proof that Liziqi is not doing this alone, I don't think it's possible, so I'm going to accuse her of lying about having a production team. And if she's lying about that, that means she's not a good person. And if she's not a good person, she's a horrible person. And if she's a horrible person, she deserves to be hated on. That's like the mental gymnastics people were doing.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because she's saying, accusing me of having a production team is one thing, but then to accuse me of being a horrible person that deserves the hate that I'm getting, like, what kind of mental gymnastics are you doing to connect these two things?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they're just going at her, like calling her some of the most heinous things online. Literally, I don't even think these netizens went after corrupt politicians or murderers the way that they were coming for her neck. Liziqi said that the stress was taking a toll on her. She had been going to the hospital for massive stomach problems. Her grandma even begged her to quit, telling her they can just live frugally, like even more frugally. She doesn't need to keep doing this, and she keeps hearing rumors about herself and words about herself as if she wrote them. And she said that it broke her heart to see her grandma like that. The very grandma that she was even doing this in the first place for. In the end, she attached a few photos of her showing her filming setup. Everything was filmed either using household objects, so she would kind of, I'm sure every YouTuber feels the same, like balance her camera on different household objects, or she would use a tripod. She would show her light system. She showed her editing in the back end. She said 99% of the videos was her own filming, and if there were shots of her walking, or sometimes if the camera angle was changing really quickly, sometimes her brother would help. That's it. Okay? She said she felt so wrong to be accused of something that she didn't do. It just didn't even make sense. And then with the thing about being good at everything, she said that even just to make one video. So there was this one noodle video. She was making langzhou beef noodles.
兰州拉面 the pull handful noodle,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very specific technique, and it is like the dish of an entire area. So if she gets it wrong, people will be pissed, you know? People won't be like, oh, good job for effort. Most people will be like, you don't even know what you're doing. Like, you're literally trying to market this and act like you know what you're doing, but we should have someone from Langzhou do this because you don't know what you're doing. Like, people would have pulled her apart. So she actually went to a master that have been making these noodles their whole life, and she learned from him every single day. Like, she would end filming, she would end her prep, then she would run to that master, learn noodles. She learned this every single day for like 2 months until she couldn't even lift her arms anymore because they were so freaking sore.
Wow.
And so when she finally learned it, she starts filming the process. And then while she's filming the process, afterwards, she's already learning the new skill for the next video. So she would reach out to people that were actually masters of whatever craft or dish that she was doing and genuinely put in so much time behind the scenes to learn how to do it. But people just didn't even think about that.
I saw like a photo, like someone shared, like there was a close-up of her hand. It was like all like scaled up. There's
my
like
God.
a lot of like she like really uses her hand for everything.
Oh,
so.
yeah, because there were also accusations that she doesn't actually like plant stuff. She just has like workers do it, and then she goes and just like boops a carrot out of the ground.
Yeah.
So, you know, showing like how exactly. So she said it's very painful because for a while now, agents, managers, production teams had been reaching out to her, asking her to work. Like, they're willing to film all her videos for her. And then she could just be the star and she would make so much more money because she can film more and like take all these different opportunities to go on TV and all these things. She even mentioned an agent by the name of Mr. L. He becomes important later, all right? But she said, I told this agent who's really nice, like, I still just want to be in control of my videos from start to finish. And she said, you know what? Now that you guys, basically the haters, have been saying all these things about me, maybe I'll come back with a team. Maybe I'll just do whatever you're accusing me of and make more videos and spread more of my videos to the world. Like, basically, F you haters. You think I have a production team? Fine, I'll get a production team and I'll be even more successful though. Okay, S my D. That's basically what she said. So she excuses herself to take a mental health break. And this is when she starts really connecting with Mr. L. He is an agent of an MCN agency called Wainan MCN Agency, WMA. Not to be confused with the American talent agency, WME.
Okay.
WMA. Yeah, just keep in mind of this guy. He reached out to her and said, hey, I can get you videographers. I can get you all these people. Just let me know. Well, she signs with him, and he does help her build a small team. She was really open about it. She said, I do have a small team, yeah. And they help me with editing. They also, I still do all of the ideation of the videos. I do all the planning. They help me with just like changing camera angles and maybe sometimes like reaching out to masters, like helping me with like acquire certain things. But I do all of the content planning. I am the content, like they're not doing much. She even said like all they're doing is like looking for music in the back end, editing videos, and like this is still me, right? And everyone's like, it's okay, like we love you. There's nothing wrong with it. People did notice that her videos did get much better. So they're like, okay, amazing. Like I'm glad that she's able to do what she likes the most and still be able to produce even better videos. So people were very happy for her. But then there was another scandal. Some villagers were coming out to say that she was glorifying village life instead of showing the proper struggles that they were actually experiencing. So basically a lot of villagers felt like, okay, that's nice and all, but now everyone has this idea that living in the village is this peaceful, calm, serene, like aesthetic life when I'm literally starving. Like our family is struggling. We don't have time to go and wash our feet at the river because we're busy working. We don't have time to go and make lanzhou beef noodles from scratch because we can barely afford beef. We can't even put food on the table.
I think I remember this too.
Yeah, they said it was not an accurate depiction of their lives, and a lot of them were upset because people were misconstruing it. Like a lot of city people were like, oh my God, it must be so nice you live in the village. And they're like, I'm literally dying. So what are you talking about? People even asked why she chose to film videos in this more old school, ancient style way. So a lot of people said maybe it would have been better if she incorporated modern elements. If she had been in the village, but like you could have bought some prepackaged noodles. You could have just made the sauce from scratch, or you could have like, I don't know, ordered a food processor. Like I'm pretty sure that's easy on Alibaba, right? Everything just felt so old school. It felt like a set and so much of glorification of the ancient lifestyle.
I feel like that's the point of her video, is escape.
Yeah.
Right? It's not to show you the realistic, like there's other channels for that if you want that.
Okay, that's also the thing, I don't think that every channel needs to provide everything. That's why there's so many creators, right?
Yeah. And I remember seeing this whole debate online.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I do remember that. It was like the whole thing of people were saying, oh, are you glorifying the farm, the village life into this like fairyland of like, whimsical vibes and this and that. But I mean, and then the whole argument that they're saying is, she is providing a dream. This is a video. This is not real. This is a video. This is an escape. This is a vibe.
And at no part in her video did she say this is the real life of villagers.
Yeah, she's showcasing like very old school traditional Chinese methods of doing things, cooking things, creating things. I don't know. I don't see the issue in what she's doing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but I don't know. Some people were really upset about it. I didn't see the issue with this one. And she straight up said, many children in the city, because I lived in the city, they don't know if rice is even grown on trees or if it's grown in a field.
Yeah.
The environment that I currently live in is relatively rural, and I thought, I might be able to showcase these processes, and some people find it as a nice escape from their lives, just to be in nature. And these are things that I was the most familiar with since I was a kid because I grew up here.
Yeah.
So it's not like I grew up in New York City and moved into this town because I'm like, ugh, this is a niche. This was my life. And when people started wondering how she had every plant and every vegetable conveniently in her garden, they were like, nah. I don't know. Maybe it's CGI. I don't know what they were accusing her of. They were just like, no.
That's also my question. I'm like, damn, she has everything in that garden.
So I think there's two things people were saying. I think an accurate one, and I don't know if this is true, but I don't see why there would be a problem if this was true, but a lot of villages do like shared lands.
Yeah.
So That's why there's so much variety.
Yeah.
Whereas
no, I
maybe,
heard
yes.
she literally go to a neighbor's farm.
Yes, yes,
She's
yes,
like,
yes.
hey, can I go pick 2 eggplants from your farm?
And she said what she'll do is that, you know, people feel like she just has everything in her like vicinity to go plant and pick. But she said, no, I don't do that. I go out first, I take a walk around and I see what I have and then I plan what I think I should do with those things. And then I start shooting, you know? It's not that I just am randomly walking down and I'm like,
What a beautiful heirloom tomato. Let me make some heirloom sauce.
and that's why I use a lot of seasonal ingredients and everyone was like, damn it, that makes sense. Annoying. And then one of her biggest scandals erupts. And it starts with what I assume she believed to be a very innocent title, a non-scandalous title, but Liziqi posted on YouTube, quote, spicy Chinese cabbage dish. And she made what is well known today as kimchi. Here it comes, my Chinese husband and my Korean self, okay? This started a full-blown war between Korean netizens who were so upset because it felt like she was trying to claim a very traditional and typically well-known Korean dish as a Chinese dish. They felt very upset. Chinese netizens fought back and said, historically, there are records of China creating a spicy pickled cabbage dish long before there were official records of kimchi being around. This is our dish. And then the other argument was, yes, but that was then, and a lot of Korean netizens argued, kimchi is widely seen as a Korean dish. It is what Koreans eat with every single meal, and she most likely knows this. Most of our Chinese friends or abroad Chinese netizens, when they eat this dish, they call it kimchi. So why would she not call it kimchi? And by her titling it spicy Chinese cabbage almost felt like an attack.
Did you watch the video? I never watched the
I
video.
think the process is a little bit different.
Oh, okay. I
little
don't even
bit.
know what
Yeah,
happened.
so that's what the Korean netizens were commenting, and a lot of them were upset, saying like, if you take any random Korean off the street, they know how to make kimchi. But you wouldn't be able to really do that with any random Chinese netizen. They wouldn't know how to make this Chinese pickled, like they were saying universally it's known as kimchi, and she probably knew that, but the fact that she didn't title it that made it felt like she was like, it was ours first. Type of feeling is what the Koreans said, right? But then Chinese netizens were saying, well, historically, we have longer records of eating this dish than you guys have of eating your dish. So they were like, it must have originated from us.
Yeah. What did
is
she
it-
say anything though? I wonder.
I didn't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was it got really bad. It got to the point where China's foreign minister had to speak up.
Shut the front door.
And
What did he say?
I'm not a food expert. From what I know, pao cai?
Pao cai.
Pao cai.
Pickle veggies.
Pao cai and kimchi is a type of fermented food that exists all around the world. We call it pao cai, while Koreans call it kimchi, and so on. They have a lot of similarities, but in terms of spices, taste, and preparation, they are unique in their own way. From a culinary standpoint, we support discussion and exchange on the subject, but to avoid conflict, let's not be prejudiced. I remember this one.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember because I woke up one day and Korean netizens were tearing into Liziqi, and I was like, not my Liziqi, what happened? And then I was like, wait, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. I gotta eat some kimchi real quick to figure out how I feel about this.
To calm it down.
To calm myself down, to give myself some emotional support right now. And then we had a quick discussion where he was like, so you think it's a Chinese dish or a Korean dish? And I said, do you want to break up or you want to stay together? And then we stopped the conversation. Yeah,
Anyways.
but I get it. I get both sides of the argument. I totally do. I don't think it's like that big of a deal. And I don't think, okay, the reason I don't think it's that big of a deal is because maybe I'm biased and I've been watching Liziqi before the scandal broke out. And I just feel like she's not the type to like go out and like try to start fights or the type to be like, it was ours first. Like she doesn't strike me as that person. So I feel like maybe she just really didn't know.
Yeah.
And probably the way she prepared it was like very traditionally pao cai. So she named it that. I don't think that she was trying to do anything. So the intention behind it, like, it doesn't really make me mad, right? Anyway, there'd also be one more mini scandal before she disappears. And it's not really a scandal as it is just like racist, in my opinion. It's like xenophobia, okay? But basically, people start stealing Liziqi's videos and posting them on other platforms, pretending to be Liziqi, but they would change her ethnicity.
What?
And be like, hi, they would like use really racist names. Blank from Korea. Hi, I'm blank from Vietnam. Watch me cook. Literally kind of erasing her Chinese background. And Liziqi came forward to say, hi everyone, I'm Liziqi and I'm Chinese. Other bloggers are copying my videos and this has happened many times before.
Wait, so they literally post her own video?
Yeah.
And just add like a voiceover?
Yeah.
Like
or
how-
like subtitles, or it's in their bio.
Oh.
You know how like
wow.
TikTok
Yeah,
does
yeah,
like
yeah.
fake ones too?
Yeah.
And she said they changed their nationality and pretend to be me, so many followers don't even know where I'm from now. I'm here to declare that I'm from China and proud to be Chinese. The scenes in my video are from my hometown and they're located in China. This is my only official YouTube video, and thank you everyone for your constant following and support. Thank you so much. But there was a lot of backlash with this too, because she's so globally well known when this scandal happened, so a lot of non-Chinese netizens started accusing her of being an industry plant. Same thing that happened, but on a different context. So Chinese netizens were like, she's an industry plant, she's too good. And then global netizens were like, she's an industry plant from China. The government put her on YouTube. Oh yeah, they're trying to brainwash us. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, propaganda, trying to get soft powers, I see. Which the counter argument would be, you see a lot of cottagecore lifestyle videos, especially in like the UK, or like people being like 24 hours in the Victorian era videos, and nobody is like, oh my god, she is propaganda by the British government, like to take over America again. Like you don't see that. So people were like, come on, again, this feels just like straight up xenophobia, guys. Let's do better. So Liziqi moves on from all these little scandals, continues making her videos, and they're only getting better and better, just like in quality, ideas, everything. And then July 14th, 2021, she posts firewood, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. Which like her titles.
Wait, one more time?
Her titles are unhinged.
We should post a video?
Yeah, that's
Name-
the video. Firewood, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea.
Okay, what does that mean?
Like 28 million views, okay? Crazy. And then she never posted again. That video was completely normal. Nowhere in that video did she say, hey guys, I'm gonna take a small break. Nowhere in that video did she say, hey guys, I'm retiring or I'm transitioning into a different career. That video was normal, and then she never posted again. Like, what kind of international sensation just disappears out of nowhere? Let's take it back to Mr. L, the manager. Mr. L had been reaching out to Liziqi for a while. This was many years ago before she left YouTube. And he kept telling her he could make her life easier, he could bring her more resources so that she could focus on the passionate parts of the business that she likes, which is just video content creation. He even flew out to the countryside to visit her in her hometown just to meet with her. And she said that he felt very sincere. He really seemed like he wanted to help her vision come true. And he was just very knowledgeable about everything. Even before she signed with him, he was providing resources and insight that she wasn't able to get, because it's not like she lives in Beijing or Shanghai and has all these influencer friends around her. It was really hard for even her to navigate this space. Like, this is just an arena that she's so unfamiliar with. This is like uncharted territory. He's giving her tips on lighting and how to streamline things. And in the end, she ends up signing with him. And she signs over a lot of the administrative ends of her career and focuses on content creation. On one hand, she gets to just focus on creating content. That's a good thing. Good for her, right? Good for her viewers. On the other hand, now this agency is handling all brand deals, her trademarkings, her brand in general, marketing, monetization, her accounts, everything. Side note, WMA was pretty big at this point, but not that big. Like, Liziqi was by far the biggest creator that they ever signed, and it gave them all the credit they needed to sign more creators. So they would just state that Liziqi is their client, and that helped build up their own reputation. Because think about it, if Mr. Beast is signed with someone and that person is like, hey, we signed Mr. Beast, I think I'd be more likely to be like, okay, I feel like at least I could trust them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would Mr. Beast sign with him? Like, he's a smart business guy. He's like the top creator. Like, that makes sense, right? I would feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of influencers signed with this company, WMA, because of Liziqi. And from that, WMA made a lot of money. I would say, like, in the US, agencies take like, I don't know, 20%. They were taking like 50% in China. So in China, I heard the industry standard is 50.
Wow.
Yeah, 50. I'd be like, oh, okay, are you gonna film with me? Like, go. But I will say that the structure is different. They are more involved in China, a lot more involved maybe, and they do actually invest more money. So I don't know, okay, I don't know. I don't know if agencies in the US, or at least for like most influencer agencies, I don't know if they actually like invest literal cash into your marketing. Like they might invest in like having their employees work on stuff for you, but in China, they invest like literal cash into marketing you. So I guess in some ways it makes sense. You get it, but it was just weird. So she's like, okay, makes sense. She signs with WMA and they go ahead and they trademark a ton of her name and variations of her name. And they let her know and they're like, this is what we're going to do because this is going to be protecting your assets. This is in no way me saying that she was not knowledgeable, but it's like taxes. No one teaches you about taxes. And like most of your life, I feel like we have no freaking idea with what we're doing with taxes. And then one day we kind of learn and we're like, why did nobody teach me about this? Like, how are we expected to just know this? This is insane, right? That was kind of how Liziqi was with this business. She dropped out at 14. She didn't have any opportunities to be involved in these types of deals, in these types of conversations. And so this was completely foreign to her. This was new to her. All she knew was she liked Mr. L. She felt like she could trust him. He was very professional. The contracts they were presenting, he said this was the industry standard. This was the industry norm. She had no idea about what the industry norm was, so she signed it. And WMA was helping her. So she signed it and they structured the deal that everything Liziqi ever created, including her own social media platforms that she had already grown with her blood, sweat, and tears, would all be under an LLC. So they were like, Liziqi, you gotta stop, you gotta make an LLC. And then all your businesses are gonna run through this LLC. And she's like, okay, that's crazy. I get it. I'll do it. They create an LLC. Liziqi would own 49% of that LLC and WMA would own 51%. I'm gonna be honest with you, there were so many times when I was thinking about this, like even when I started social media, so many times I almost did the dumbest shit ever. And then he was like, what are you trying to sign? And I'm like, oh, am I not supposed to? And he was like, are you crazy? And I was like, oh. I thought it was cute. Like, I thought it'd be fun. He's like, you're literally signing your life away. I'm like, okay, let me just tell them. Because I already promised my firstborn child in blood, you know what I mean? So now I gotta let them know. That's gonna be disappointing. Yeah, so, I mean, again, she didn't think that this was a big deal. And that 2% is gonna just be the make it or break it. That 2% isn't even about money, it's about control. And Liziqi would now effectively have lost control over her own brand. And you have to remember, the agents were straight up predators in this. I mean, they knew that Liziqi did not have the connections or the contact to understand that this was not a good deal for her. They presented it as if this was the industry norm. In fact, she was probably getting better than the industry norm is how they presented it. They played up their kindness and they took advantage of her. So this main LLC, let's call it Company A. Company A is 49% controlled by Liziqi. And you know how I said WMA owned the other 51%? Mm-hmm. Well, no. Company B owned the other 51%. So it wasn't WMA's LLC that owned it. It was like another random company that had just been created. Mm-hmm. Company B owns 51% of Company A. So whoever controls Company B controls Company A and therefore controls Liziqi and her whole brand. Yeah. And guess who owns Company B? Mr. L.
Why didn't he do WMA?
He wanted it seemed.
Oh, himself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And then,
so he plotted this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the trademark for all of Liziqi's names and brands, they were all registered under Company B instead of Company A. So if Company A had the Liziqi trademark, Liziqi would own 49% of her own trademark. Uh-huh. But instead, the trademark was for Company B, which Liziqi owned 0% of Company B. She had nothing to do with Company B. Company B just owned her company. She can't control Company B.
But they told them that.
They told her, yeah, it's going to be under WMA, but WMA owns Liziqi, and they're like, it's basically the same thing, it's just for paperwork reasons.
Wow.
And so she's like, okay, that makes sense. And then also, when you have to think, she's newer to the industry, she didn't know much. she's probably thinking, this is literally my name and I'm Liziqi. So like, it's me. I'm the brand.
Wow.
Like trademark just seems like a legal paper. It doesn't really matter because I'm literally, my name is Liziqi. Like it's Liziqi, right? It's not like you're trademarking a water bottle and you're like, I, Stephanie Sue, want to own this water bottle, It's like, I'm Liziqi.
That's insane.
It's about to get crazier. In 2018, Liziqi debuted a brand under her name, basically a food brand. So they opened up a flagship store, they created an online storefront, and they sold all sorts of different food. Lotus root powder. Their highest selling SKU was lushifan?
螺蛳粉.
Yes, it's like instant noodles. The stinky noodles that are instant. They had chutney powders, flour cakes, rice noodles, literally everything. They were moving like 500,000 units a month. That's 500,000 units, not like dollars.
Wow.
In 2020, they did over 200 million US dollars in sales.
Wow.
And the profit margins are crazier. So profit margins were guesstimated to be like 70%. Just think about how much pure profit these sales were bringing in. But the products were being sold. Company A, Liziqi, Company B. They were being sold only under Company B.
Okay, so Liziqi is not making money, you're saying?
Zero.
What?
She's not involved in the process. She did not own the trademark to her own name. She could not stop or sell these products with her likeness or her name on it. She was making $0 from this.
Wait, did she know it though?
I think in the beginning she didn't because they were like, oh, this is your new brand. And then once we start becoming profitable, we'll probably
give you the money.
So I'm sure to a degree she was promoting it.
Wow.
She was literally bringing in insane profits to WMA and even fed hundreds of their employees with her profits alone to the company, and she is getting paid nothing from this. Zero. But it gets even worse because it's not even about the money, okay?
You remember, right? We actually ordered Liziqi's the 螺蛳粉. I remember you even oh, who is this? Oh my god, that's Liziqi. Remember that? I was like, yeah, she has a famous noodle brand.
And then you were like, they're killing it.
Yeah, she's killing it. Oh my god, dude, this is killing me. I can't believe this.
And like I said, it's not even about the money. So quick sidetrack. I don't know how much she got paid from her video views because I know people are going to be like, well, I don't really feel bad for her because she's probably rich anyway. I don't know how much she got paid for her video views or other revenue sources. I don't know if the situation was that WMA also screwed her out of those too. That part right now is kind of unclear to me. Or if it was just the branding and the Liziqi food brand. But there was a point in time where people were super pissed off at her and accused her. They tried to calculate her views per month in CPMs and they accused her of making 23 million USD a year. A year, which, okay, that's crazy. That's astronomical amounts of money, right? But they were pissed about this. They felt like she didn't deserve it. And she was getting so much hatred that she had to come out and say, guys, I'm not making anywhere near $23 million a year. Which I get it. Again, this is a stupid amount of money, right? I totally get that there's other professions and other industries that deserve way more money, and influencers are the bottom of the list. I get it, okay? Teachers, healthcare, first responders, people that work at water sewage plants that keep our country running, employees that do garbage disposal, garbage retrieval, all these people, recycling plants. I get it, trust me. But I will say, I feel like so much of the hatred against her, specifically about her making money, came from a lot of people being pissed that a girl made more money than them. A girl that radiated soft girl vibes. Because it's weird, I didn't see a lot of male influencers getting accused of making too much money. But she was getting dragged. I mean, I don't know. People just had a problem with it. People were upset with her about it. And she was like, guys, I'm not making that much money. Thanks for worrying about me, but I'm not. So you can stop worrying now, right? But back to the food. There were a lot of negative reviews about the food and the brand. Netizens were ripping Liziqi apart for calling her money hungry.
Wait, people don't like the food?
There were a lot of complaints. A lot of people reported having diarrhea. There were inedible ingredients found in some of the lotus root powders. There were some bug remnants found in the noodles. They were calling her money hungry, cheap, sellout, putting out horrible products as a cash grab, trying to pull one over on people, literally just some of the most disgusting things ever. They were absolutely ruthless. I mean, it was really, 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 really bad, okay? Just her brand and her whole image, her whole, even just like her hope in humanity was just getting destroyed by something that she could not stop and something she definitely did not profit from. And for a while, everyone was radio silent. People were turning against Liziqi. Some people were just waiting for her to come back. And October 25th of 2021, she posted a picture of herself at a police station. And records were pulled that she filed a lawsuit against WMA and had the Liziqi trademarks renounced. Again, just to show you the power that this woman holds in terms of influence and how loved she was, there was breaking news of separation between Liziqi and WMA. This was like breaking news in the industry. It was huge. And WMA had taken off their 7th round of investors, including ByteDance. ByteDance was one of the investors.
TikTok?
The owners of TikTok. And ByteDance, the minute that they heard about Liziqi withdrawing from WMA, they withdrew investments from WMA.
Of course. What the f***?
Because
Liziqi made WMA.
They only wanted WMA to invest in WMA because they only wanted to invest in Liziqi. That's it. Literally, that's it. And if she's no longer there, they don't give a f*** about WMA. So they pulled out. And WMA really didn't have...
That's insane. You said this is their 7th round?
Yeah.
So they've raised millions on millions and millions and millions of dollars already.
Off Liziqi's
Yeah,
back.
in the last 6 rounds.
Yeah. And even if you lined up WMA's top 10 talents, Liziqi being number 1, numbers 2 and 10, I'm sure they're great people, right? But just to show you how much power she had in the company, collectively, if you combined all their numbers, they don't even do a fifth of the numbers that Liziqi was pulling.
Wow.
So ByteDance pulls out, and it was a really bad time for WMA. Hate them. But they had just finished their 7th round of financing, and they were trying to get into IPO. They were like trying to get ready. They're positioning themselves for IPO. And when this is like breaking news, they get a ton of backlash. And side note, it was alleged that WMA had already pretty predatory contracts in the industry. Like they were already really predatory. So the public starts digging into WMA, and it's just so shady. Like the fact that
Mr. L. Like I think it's important to call him out.
Oh yeah.
It's not an organization. It's this guy who's like scamming everyone and taking advantage of all these people.
Oh, and the shadiest thing that he did, he even copyrighted like 115 art pieces that were connected to Liziqi's brand. So whether it was something that she had drawn, whether it was something that she had created, or even like fan art that had been gifted to her, anything that could be recognized as her branding or any visual, it was copyrighted to him. And the media stated that content distribution avenues were being controlled by WMA. So basically, Liziqi couldn't even post on her own accounts anymore. She would have to legally fight to get her access back, which she did. So she does have full access, yeah. And she does have her trademarks back. This allegation was, the allegation that she couldn't control her accounts was denied by WMA. Some people didn't believe them, some people did, right? But this back and forth goes for a while, and we don't know everything that's happened behind the scenes, but it was revealed that as of 2022, December 2022, Liziqi was given back control of her trademarks, her brands, her accounts, as well as the LLC that she owned 49% stake in. Well, she owned like the whole thing now. Well, 99%.
Can you imagine like you lose, your name doesn't own by you?
Bro. That happened to a very famous makeup artist, Bobbi Brown. So she started a makeup company called Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown Beauty, or maybe it's just Bobbi Brown, right? Very famous, bought out, I wonder if it's Estee Lauder or somewhere big. Bought out, and she wanted to leave. Her contract stipulated that she could no longer operate anything under her name. They owned Bobbi Brown. So she started a new company recently called, I think, Jones Beauty, but she's Bobbi Brown. And it was really confusing for me because I'm like, wait, that's literally Bobbi Brown. But she's like saying she's talking about this company. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know that she left Bobbi Brown. And then I like went through the thing, and then I was like, oh, okay, she left Bobbi Brown, but she can't create.
It's like the Taylor Swift songs, right?
Yes, it's like, what are you talking about? That's her song. Like, what the are you talking about? I get it. I get the legality. I get the logistics. But like in a world that shouldn't really make sense. Like how did we get in a world where that makes sense? Like it should not make sense. It's like, that's stupid.
It's not smart. It's not even like these companies trying to take advantage of these creators or artists. That's so short-sighted. Why would you want to someone over like that.
Yeah.
Instead, create a mutual win-win situation that you can last forever, right?
Yes, and especially in the situation with Liziqi and even like Taylor Swift, it's like, oh, okay, like good job. You f***ed over one of the most beloved people.
Yeah.
Like, good job. Like,
Yeah,
you think
like,
that's gonna go well?
I think the
Yes.
company, Mr. L, is like so into making some short-term money with this name. Like, let's just sell everything under her name and just make the money. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I guess for him, let's say he made enough money and he's done for it. But still, you could have made way more by just building a healthy, long-lasting relationship with him.
Okay.
With her.
Here's how I feel. I feel like people like Liziqi, who he could have taken advantage of because she wasn't so familiar with this space. She's the type of person I feel like if they had done so well, she would have been beyond generous with him.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not the type to sit there and count her little pennies and be like, you helped me, well, you only get this much.
Yeah, because she agreed
Yeah.
to 49%. So she agreed to half and half.
Yeah.
She agreed to like
Which
whatever
is
we
insane
make.
already,
like,
yeah.
let's go half and half. You get half, I get half.
Yeah.
But this guy wants 100%. That's crazy.
So he was forced to step down from WMA. Thank
Oh,
goodness.
Mr. L?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she does have all her accounts back, but she still hasn't posted. I don't know. Maybe she's done for good. I wouldn't blame her. Maybe she just needs time. Again, I don't blame her, but I
saw an interview before. I think it was pretty recent too, like last couple of years maybe. She's talking about her main goal in life is to spread the
Chinese culture, yeah.
cultural aspect to
Yeah.
like the young kids. She's like, when because kids nowadays, everyone's on their phone, nobody knows any of these traditions anymore, and all she want to do is express some of these type of tradition to them. Like, she doesn't care too much about the business side.
How could he screw her over? I just hope that guy doesn't ruin something that she loved doing. If she does never comes back, I hope it's because she's over it. She just wants to move on. But I just hope it's not something that she loved doing, but she's so traumatized she can't come back. In an interview, she said, she wasn't that educated, she wasn't in the business world, and she didn't make videos to become a CEO or like a CFO, so she didn't really know. She just did it for her grandma and for the passion. And this guy knew it, and he took advantage of her. And it's alleged that he probably profited tens of millions of dollars from her, from screwing her over, and I hope she gets every single penny back. And that is the story of Liziqi and why one of the top creators of YouTube just vanished. What are your thoughts? Did you guys know? Because I didn't know for a minute. I was like, oh my God, where did she go? And then when I start dating, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable levels of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no one would ever assume that's what happened. What are your thoughts? I gotta go tell Tiffany about this. She probably already knows, but I gotta repeat this whole video. I gotta sit her down. Maybe I'll heat this back up. So I gotta go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to check out HelloFresh, link in the description. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.